Yo, 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 yo. What's going on, people? It's your boy Jay Jordan back again for another live stream. Salute Tudo, what's going on the Twitch? What's good, bro? Hope everything is well. Hope everyone is doing well on this Monday evening here on the East Coast. Hope you guys are all doing well. And we're here to talk about just what the title says. WNBA training camp kicked off yesterday. It was the first official day of 2025 WNBA training camp. Over the last week, all the teams released the list of players that will be participating. And a lot of these teams have to get it down to 12 players, maybe 11, depending on money situation. Janelle was good. Daniel, my guy, salute. I'm glad you're here. I know you were asking me about this stream, so I'm glad you're here. You just bought some Sabrina 2s. What colorway you got? I do need to cop some Sabrinas, man. I've been slacking. I need to cop some Sabs. I know that's why a lot of the NBA players and hoopers been wearing them. They said they're really comfortable, and it's a good hoop shoe, and it's also a good lifestyle shoe. So I need to cop up. I need to cop up some Sabs. Well, just like I said, we're here to talk about WNBA training camp, and we're gonna do the roster predictions and who we think is gonna make it for each and every single team. This year we got 13 teams in the W, with the Golden State Valkyries joining the league. So we're gonna go through every single team. So make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you're new here, and we'll get into it shortly. I do want to do some quick WNBA news that's been released over the past 48 hours. I'll show you guys now. So, um I know last year, if you were rocking with me on the channel, you know preseason it was hard to find games live. People were live streaming games over Instagram and Twitter, and streams were getting taken down, all that type of stuff. So WNBA released about 6 hours ago. Preseason starts Friday, and we're giving you all the ways to watch. First on Ion, Paige Beckers makes her Wings debut against Asia Wilson and the reloaded Aces roster. Then Camila Cardoso and Angel Reese kick off their sophomore campaigns against the Brazilian national, and that's supposed to say Brazilian national team. So this is the schedule. So let me click into it so we can see better. So starting Friday, we have the Wings versus the Aces. Then we have the Brazilian national team versus the Sky. On Saturday, we have the Mystics versus the Fever. That's the only game on Saturday. On Sunday, we have the Fever again on a back-to-back in the preseason. I guess that should give them enough time to find out who's going to make those final spots. We have the Brazilian national team versus Indiana. Then you have Connecticut versus Seattle on Sunday as well. No games on the Monday. On Tuesday, you have Lynx versus Sky. You have Mercury versus Aces. You also have the Sparks versus the Valkyries on Tuesday. Wednesday, you have the Dream and the Mystics, the Sun and the Liberty on Friday, May 9th. Saturday, you have the Fever and the Dream, Sky and Lynx. Then you have the Antelopes versus the Wings. I think the Antelopes is a Japanese team, if I'm not mistaken. So they're playing the Wings. Then the Valkyries play the Mercury on Sunday, May 11th. And the Liberty face off against the Antelopes again on Monday, May 12th. So that is the preseason schedule. These games, as you can see at the top of the screen, it says free league pass preview in the app, May 2 to 12. So all these games are supposed to be available on League Pass. I think the only game that won't be is this ESPN game on Sunday, May 4th, between Team Brazil and the Indiana Fever, since it's a national TV game. But all the other games should be available on League Pass free of charge. So make sure you get in the app and you watch some of the games. I won't be around for next week's games. I'll be out the country, so I won't be able to be doing any watch alongs or anything. But I will be keeping an eye on these games. So that's just a little bit of the housekeeping that I wanted to touch on before we get into the meat and potatoes of tonight's stream. All right, cool. So let's get into it. So as I said, we're gonna go through all 13 teams. What's up, cuz? Salute. Hope you and the girls and everyone are well. We're gonna go through all 13 teams. I have the rosters laid out. I have it pretty organized. I had an idea and then I switched it this morning. So I was over here trying to get all the graphics ready for this evening stream. So let's get into it. Hey mom, what's going on? Let's get right into it. So the Atlanta Dream, we're going in alphabetical order, the order that they have the teams listed. So I don't want anybody to think any favoritism or anything, or else I would have done the Liberty first. But the Atlanta Dream, um, they're the first team on our list. The max they can have on the roster this year or this season is, or to start the season, excuse me, is 11 players. So you'll see, I'll put that at the right under the team name. I'll put how many players they can have on their roster to start the season. So, excuse me. So we got the starting five. This is my projected starting five. Um, this should be the team. So Jordan Canada, Alicia Gray, Ryan Howard, Brianna Jones, and Brittany Griner should be the starting five. Shatori Walker, Kimbrough, Nia Coffey, and Naz Hillman should be on the team. I have a little I forgot what they call it, but a little rule book or whatever it's called at the bottom of the screen. So if the player's name is in green, that means they have a guaranteed contract. That means if the team wants to cut that player, they're gonna have to pay them their full salary. So they're most likely not going to get waived or cut at the end of training camp. The orange is if the player was just drafted in the 2025 WNBA draft. So as you can see here, Tahina Pow and Taylor Theory, excuse me, were drafted in the draft in this past draft. So their names are in orange. So anytime you see green, just know they're most likely going to make the team because they have guaranteed contract. All right, now that we got out the way, so Jordan Canada, Alicia Gray, Ryan Howard, Brianna Jones, and Brittany Griner. Jordan Canada, Alicia Gray, and Ryan Howard were all on the team last season. That's their core three that they had on the team. And if we look at the bench side, Nia Coffey and Naz Hillman were also on the team. Maddox was good. Hope all is well. Salute, salute. So they're bringing back a lot of their main players that were very instrumental in their teams, in their team last year. Even though they didn't do as well as they would have hoped, they played the Liberty in the first round of the playoffs. They got in on the last day and they lost in two games, two straight games to the Liberty and were eliminated. They have a new coach now. They hired Carl Smesko from Florida Gulf Coast University. They fired Tanisha Wright. So they're, from what I've heard and seen, he likes to focus on getting up and down and shooting threes, which is interesting because as you can see from their power forward and center positions, Brianna Jones and Brittany Griner are not floor spacers at all. Brianna Jones just signed from the Connecticut Sun as a free agent. She played center pretty much all the time she was there. And Brittany Griner, she's 6'9". That's the only position she can realistically play. So I'm not sure how that fits into his system. But it's one of those we're gonna have to wait and see. Maddox says, Daniel says had trouble getting league pass typo. I'm not sure. I've never had any issues. I also get league pass free as being a season ticket holder for the Liberty, so I've never had any issues with that, Maddox. So I'm not too sure. Might have to contact support and see what they're saying. Maddox says, Jay, I still think the Liberty are fine without Laney Hamilton, but I hope she comes back. Oh, let me shrink this. I thought I fixed this, but I guess I did not. There we go. Put that here. Towards the end of the year. Yeah, we'll touch on the Liberty soon. We'll touch on the Liberty soon. All right, so as you can see at the bottom of the screen, I have the players that are basically on the bubble, who don't have guaranteed contracts but are at training camp. So we have the rookie Tahina Pow, who was just drafted. We have Amani Jefferson. She went to Florida Gulf Coast. So she's following her coach from Florida Gulf Coast. She got signed to a training camp contract. Maya Caldwell has been with the Atlanta Dream for years. Ashley Jones played at Iowa State. So she's here on a training camp contract as well. Haley Jones, who went to Stanford. She was with the team the past couple years. And Taylor Theory, she was played at Ohio State. She was drafted this year. She's on a training camp contract. Deanna Gaston, I think she was just signed probably 2-3 days ago, right before training camp started. And you have Maria Gakdang. She played at UNC. She was the center at the University of North Carolina. So currently, the Atlanta Dream have 8 players signed. They can only have a max of 11 due to money, the cap and money situation. So who makes the team? That is the question. As you can see, they have cover at shooting guard, small forward, and power forward with Shatori, Nia Coffey, and Naz Hillman on their bench. In terms of center, if Brittany Griner needs to go out, Brianna Jones can slide down to the center position, and they could put somebody at the power forward. So Brianna Jones can interchange between power forward and center. So they don't need too much cover there, but it's always nice to have. So what do y'all think? Who do you think makes the final 3 spots on this team? I could say I think Tahina Pau will make it. She's a point guard, and they don't really have any cover at the point guard position. So I would say Tahina Pau will probably make it on this roster, and then it comes down to the remaining 2 picks. Haley Jones. I know they tried her at the point guard over the years. Tanisha Wright kept trying her at point guard. It didn't really pan out, in my opinion. So I'm not too sure. I think she'll still make the team, but she'll be more playing. They'll probably try to play her at that small forward shooting guard role instead of trying to force her at the point, because I don't think as a point guard she's best suited there. So if we say Tahina Pau and Haley Jones, that leaves 1 spot left to make the roster. And that's where it gets tough. To me, they have post help. So I would say they would need some more wing help. I'll probably go. Do they take 2 rookies? That's the question. I don't know if they take Pau and Taylor Theory. Do they go with Ashley Jones? I know Ashley Jones was a shooter. I don't think Imani Jefferson makes it. Or do they go with Maya Caldwell? As Daniel just said, Maya Caldwell makes this roster. And that was my next choice, Maya Caldwell. Maya Caldwell's been there before. She's been with the team, but it's a new coach, so I don't know if he has the same thoughts and feelings as we have. So out of the 3, I'm gonna go. I know I don't want to say definitely, but in my opinion, I'm gonna say at the point guard position, they're going to have Tahina Pau. So I'm gonna just add her name to that top of that list. Tahina Pau out of South Carolina. So I can just type it in the names. 1 second. Tahina Pau. Add her here. So we got Tahina as cover for the point guard behind Jordan Canada. You have Shatori, you have Nia Coffey, you have Naz Hillman. So we're saying Maya Caldwell. So do we go Tahina, Maya Caldwell, and Haley Jones? I don't know. I'm gonna look at the contracts right quick so I can make a I think Haley Jones is still on a unprotected contract, so they can waive her. Um does the new coach give up on her with if she doesn't really show up in training camp? So that's something that we have to see. Let me see. Team cap sheets. Atlanta Dream. So Haley Jones, she's unprotected contract. She's due $80,000. Do they still trust Haley Jones? That is the question. But I'm gonna go with Maya Caldwell. I think Maya Caldwell will make this roster, so I'm gonna put her in here as well. Maya Caldwell. And now we have space for one more player. Do they go a big player? They need a third big. Today is a new day. Said they need a third big. So it would be between Maria Gakdeng and Deanna Gaston. I'm not too familiar with her game. Deanna Gaston. I'm gonna look at the Atlanta Dream roster. Deanna Gaston is 6'2". Maria Gakden is 6'3". Deanna Gaston, where she went to play. I think she played at Auburn. Yeah, she played at Auburn. Maria Gaston, 6'2", out of Auburn. So I guess it goes between. I've seen a little bit of Gakdeng. They'll probably, if they need a big, they'll probably go her, and she has the height. Well, an inch isn't much, but an inch can make the difference. So for that final spot, we'll go Maria Gakdeng. They can only have 11, so I'm just add her to the list at the center position. Because who knows, Brittany Griner's getting up there in age. She might get hurt, and you need that extra cover. So boom, there we go. So we have our starting five, and then our bench. We have the rookie Tahina Pow, Shatori Walker Kimbrough, the vet, as well as Maya Caldwell. You have Nia Coffey, Naz Hillman, and Maria Gakdeng out of UNC. So that's our prediction for the final roster there. Thanks to those who assisted. I think that looks like a. I don't know if this is a championship winning roster. It's not at all, but it could make some noise towards the bottom of that playoff push. I have to see how Brittany Griner and Brianna Jones play together. I know Brianna Jones was playing a little power forward overseas. She was playing with Ezzy Magbegor of the Seattle Storm over in where were they? Where is USK? In USK Praha. I forgot what country that team is in, but they ended up winning the Euro League championship. So we'll see how she plays with Brittany Griner. Brittany Griner is not a very good rebounder for her size. She's 6'9" and didn't average too many rebounds. I think she averaged around 7 rebounds last season. So they're definitely going to need some help there on the boards. But I think I'm satisfied with that. For those who are new, at the end of training camp, we'll have another stream and we'll compare what we decided compared to what actually happened. So stay tuned for that. But I think I'm sold with this. All right, so that's the Atlanta Dream. Let's move on to the next team on the list. We got the Chicago Sky. So their starting five projected. I know ESPN. I don't know who's writing those articles over there, but they said something about Haley Van Lith starting and somebody else starting. Rachel Banham. I'm like, I don't think they really. It's either AI's writing these stuff, or the person who wrote it doesn't know what they're talking about. But Courtney Vandersloot, Ariel Atkins, Rebecca Allen. You see, I have the question mark there. That's one that I'm a little on the fence about. Angel Reese, definitely. Camila Cardoso, definitely. Mo Jefferson and Rachel Bannon will be on the team to start unless a trade happens. Remember, the green means it is a guaranteed contract. So they cannot just waive them because they're still going to have to pay them, and there's no benefit in waiving them. So Courtney Vandersloot returning to her roots in Chicago, a team where she won her first championship with and played pretty much all of her career with before she went to the Liberty for 2 seasons. Ariel Atkins is new to the team. She played with Washington. She was in that number 2 overall pick trade that took place this offseason. Rebecca Allen was acquired from Connecticut. In that trade this offseason, Angel Reese and Camila Cardoso were on the team last year as they were drafted last season. Mo Jefferson and Rachel Banham, I think they were in that Marina Mabry trade that took place halfway through last season. So they still are owed some money on their end. All right, looking at the bench here, or the remaining players that are trying to fight for the spot, the Chicago Sky can sign up to 12 players on the team. So they have Haley Van Lith, Alex Wilson, Kia Nurse, Arella Garantas, Sammy Puisis, Tilly Bowler, Michaela Onyenwere, Morgan Birch, Maddie Westbell, Elizabeth Williams, and Jessica Carter. As you can see, though, I only have one rookie on this list, which is Haley Van Lith. The other two rookies that were drafted this a couple weeks ago, Aisha Sivka and Aisha Koulibaly, they're both not reporting to training camp, and they both won't be playing this season. Aisha Sivka will be still overseas, and Aisha Koulibaly is still recovering from a knee injury she suffered during the NCAA season when she was playing for, what was she playing for? Was it Mississippi State? Yeah, I think it was Mississippi State. Aisha Koulibaly was playing for one of those teams. So the other two rookies will not be reporting this season. The only rookie that has a possibility to make the team is Haley Van Lith. Kyle Landon was good. You gotta say, when you look at the names on this entire Chicago roster, this could be a very deep roster, and importantly, a more disciplined team under new head coach Tyler Marsh. And got some good. That's a good point. A good shout there. So since we have 7 players already who I believe will be on the team, they need just about, was that 5 more to make it 12. So looking at where they're sort of lacking, um, they need coverage for Camilla and Angel. Angel, she did get hurt last year. Camilla was hurt to start the season. She got hurt during training camp, if I remember correctly. And then Elizabeth Williams started, and then she got hurt for the season. So they'll need some cover, some big player coverage. So just looking off this list here, they signed Kia Nurse, so I believe Kia Nurse will make this team. She can swap in as a shooting guard and sometimes as a small forward. So I think Kia Nurse will be one of the players that make this team. Michaela Onyenwere, I know they really like what she brings to the table. She plays bigger than she is. She can shoot the three and she can penetrate into the hole. So I think Michaela will make it as well. So that puts us at 9. Though we need 3 more. Elizabeth Williams, I think, will make it as the center position. That puts us at 10. Then we look at this power forward position between Morgan Birch and Maddie Westbeld. I know Morgan Birch has had, she's played in the W before. Maddie Westbeld is a rookie. That was my bad. Let me put her in orange. I said rookies would be in orange, and I forgot Maddie Westbeld. There we go. So Maddie Westbeld, between Maddie Westbeld and Morgan Birch, I'm not too sure where to shake. Do they go for the youth, or do they go for somebody who's already played in the system, even though it is a new system with a new coach? So I'm not too sure there, but I do think Haley Van Lith will make that final spot on the roster. So let me just fill in some of the names I've said already. So I put Kia Nurse here, Kia Nurse, and then I'll put Haley Van Lith also here, Haley Van Lith. I did say Michaela Onyenwere as well, Michaela Onyenwere. And I did say Elizabeth Williams at the center position. So Elizabeth Williams. All right, let me just clean this up a bit and we should be good. Cool. So the only spot we're missing now is we need one more player. I don't think Arella Garanta, Sammy Puisis, Tilly Bowler, and Jessica Carter are making this roster. So it just narrows it down between Morgan Birch and Maddie Westbeld, in my opinion. What's y'all thoughts? Daniel says, I think Haley Van Lith, Kia Nurse, Michaela Onyenwere, Maddie Westbeld, Elizabeth Williams make the roster. Oh, so you're pretty much along the same line of thought that I am as well. My debate is just between Maddie Westbeld and Morgan Birch. Daniel says Maddie Westbell. I need to get this game off my screen. I do not want to see what the Heat are doing right now. They are absolutely getting destroyed. I wanted to look up Morgan Burch. I think she was in the league 2 seasons ago. BR Morgan Burch. Let's see where Morgan Burch is. Let me go with Chicago Sky. See if I can get it that way. WNBA, Chicago Sky. So between Morgan Burch and Maddie Westbell, Daniel says Maddie Westbell. Let me see what Morgan Burch was doing. Morgan, there we go. Morgan Burch is 6'4". She's 28 years old. Maddie Westbell, 6'3", 22 years old. Just got drafted out of Notre Dame. What's up, Miracle? Hope all is well. Good to see you. So looking at her stats, Morgan Burch has played on a few teams. Her longest stint was with Chicago in 2023. Played 28 games, played in 28 games, started 5, played 14 minutes, averaged about 4 points a game on 45% from the field, so that's not too bad. Yeah, she only played about, she didn't play too much in her stint in 2024. 2023 was her longest stint. I don't know. Do Chicago go youth? Well, 28 isn't old, but do they go for the 22-year-old or the 28-year-old? I'm gonna say Maddie Westbell. I'm gonna just say Maddie Westbell. So that's the last person I'm gonna add to the list. I wouldn't be surprised if they go Morgan Burch, but Maddie Westbell, because I know probably Morgan Burch would want to play. I don't know how much she would play um behind Angel Reese and Elizabeth Williams and Camila Cardoso. So I think they'll go for the rookie and just hold on to her rights because you know what, at the end of this season, everybody's on a 1-year deal for this season pretty much. So at the end, it's gonna be the wild wild west out there. So they want to have some rights to some young players instead of just waiving them. So that fills out our 12. So we have excuse me, our starting 5 with Vandersloot, Atkins. Oh, this is what I want to talk about. Does Rebecca Allen start? Because last year, Michaela Onyenwere started a lot. I know Chicago wanted to focus on 3-point shooting. That's where they struggled a lot. I think they were almost bottom of the league or bottom of the league last year in three-point attempts and 3-point percentage. So Vandersloot, she can shoot the 3, but she's not a 3-point shooter. I wouldn't consider her that. Ariel Atkins, very off and on when it comes to 3. She can shoot the 3 better than Vandersloot, but she didn't shoot her best percentage last year. It was a little low last year for Ariel Atkins from 3-point range. Also, I know Unrivaled and the W are 2 different leagues, but even in Unrivaled, she didn't look like she was playing her best basketball. I'm looking at the stats here for Atkins. Last year, she shot 35% from 3. It was a jump up from 2023, but not her best ever. She shot 36% in 2022. Well, she shot 41%, excuse me, in 2020. So her 3-point percentage, that 35.7 is about her average. So you could always need more 3-point shooting around the the twin towers you have down there in Angel Reese and Camila Cardoso, who don't spread the floor. I know Rebecca Allen is a 3-point shooter. She used to play for My Liberty. That's what she specialized in, a 3-and-D player. So that's why I went with Rebecca Allen. So anybody have do they think any other thoughts? Do you think they should start Michaela Onwere or Kia Nurse? I think Rebecca Allen will probably get that starting nod, granted, if she's healthy. That's another thing with Rebecca Allen. Sometimes she's not in the best of health. But I think I'm gonna stick with Rebecca Allen. We'll say Rebecca Allen gets the starting nod. So that's our 12 for Chicago. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. We're gonna move on to the next team. which is the Connecticut Sun, the team that got absolutely decimated this offseason, to no fault of their own. They knew they went for it all last season. They knew everybody was pretty much on their last year of their deals. They tried to do one last hurrah for the championship, and they got eliminated. So, what does that do? Everybody ends up leaving, people get traded, and now they got to start from scratch. So, they can have 12 players on their roster. This is the starting five for me at the moment. You have Lindsey Allen at the point. You have Marina Mabrey at the 2, Diamond DeShields at the 3, Tina Charles at the 4, and Olivia Nelson-Ododa at the 5. The only other player they have that has a protected contract is Yvonne Anderson. She will be the backup point guard. She plays overseas, in Europe. So I think they signed her on, and she will be getting some minutes at backup point. Looking at the rest of the roster that have reported for training camp, they don't really have a point guard. There they do have a bunch of shooting guards. They have J.C. Sheldon, Layla Lacan, the French player who got drafted last season but didn't report. Abby Sue, Madison Hayes, and Morgan Malley. Talking about that, before we go any further, I do want to show you. Cuts have already started being made. Let me show you this right quick. So this was released about 4:30 Eastern. Connecticut already started making cuts. Connecticut Sunwaves, Maya Hollingshed and Abby Sue. Thank you for your contributions, but you didn't even make it plat. You made it to day 2, and now you out of there. So those 2 players were cut today. So I'm going to edit this so that it reflects that. So any player in red is basically cut from the team. Morgan Malley, you see in red below Madison Hayes. She was released, I think she was released Saturday or Sunday. So she didn't even make it to training camp. I think the limit of players you can have in training camp is 18, I believe. And you can have more players on the training camp roster, but only 18 can actually be in the camp at the same time. So I put some asterisks beside some of the players like Layla Lacan and Amy Okonkwo. They're still overseas playing on their teams overseas. So they haven't reported yet, which is why they were able to have some extra players in camp, because the other players didn't report as of yet. Anyways, you see they have some rookies here as well. Sanaya Rivers, they just drafted. Anissa Morrow, they just drafted. Robin Parks, Caitlin Bickle. They have Amy Okonkwo, Haley Peters. Let me fix Maya Hollingshed. She is also one of those that was just waived today. So Maya Hollingshed cut. At the center, they have the rookie Rhea Marshall out of USC, Cariata Diaby, and Camilla Borkowska. All right, so they can have 12 players. Currently, they have 6 on the roster. So they have 6 players they can choose from. Off rip, I have a great feeling they're sticking with their rookies that they just drafted. Sanaya Rivers and Anissa Morrow should make this roster. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly where Anissa will play, if she'll play at the power forward like she did in college. She is only 6'2". She got away with it in college, but I'm not sure how that actually translates to the W. But the ways that she goes after the ball on the glass, she can make it work. But I'm gonna just put her at the small forward for now. Sanaya Rivers, Anissa Morrow. I also think Layla Lacan will make it. She is a sort of a combo guard, a point guard / shooting guard. I have some highlights of her on my highlights channel. Her hoop highlights. Layla Lacan plays for Basket Landis in France. Her team is currently in the playoffs, so definitely check her out if you're not familiar with her game. But I think she will make this roster. Layla Lacan. So we have 3 more players out of we already had 6. So that puts us at 9. at the center position, because I think that's where they'll need some help down there at the center position. Does Rhea Marshall make the team? Do their 3 rookies make the team? Or does one of these international players do? Carriata Diaby, I think she plays overseas as well. She's playing really well overseas. I think does JC Sheldon make it as well? So you would have Lindsay Allen, Mabry, Yvonne Anderson, Layla Lacan, and JC Sheldon. That puts you at 5 guards. I mean, you did trade for her, so I would be shocked if she didn't. So I'm gonna put JC Sheldon on this list as well. JC Sheldon played with the Dallas Wings last year. She was a part of that Dejanay Carrington trade that sent Dejanay to Dallas. So that puts us at 10, right? So that's 2, 4, 5, and then 10. Yep. So we have 2 more players that can make this roster. As I said, they definitely need big help. I think Amy Okonkwo will make the roster. Amy Okonkwo. And now it goes between Rhea Marshall, Carriata Diaby, and Camilla Borkowska. I think Borkowska is like, she's big. Colin Landing says people think this Connecticut Sun will drop off considerably from a year ago. Don't sleep on the Sun. Yeah, they'll drop off. They won't be that team that started 10-0 like they did last season, but they're not gonna. They're gonna. I don't think they'll be the worst team in the league, but they definitely. I don't see them making the playoffs. To be completely honest with you. Daniel says I think Robin Parks is a sleeper to make the team. Yeah, Robin Parks used to play for Chicago, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. Borkowska, I'm trying to find out some more about her. She is 22 years old. I think 22 years old, from Poland, if I'm not mistaken. I might just need to go on the WNBA site. I'm over here trying to look on ESPN. They don't know what they're doing over there. Team roster. There we go. So Borkowska, she's 6'7" out of Poland. That was correct. What's up, Mabry Glazer? I know. We're not gonna sleep on your son, your girl Mabry. There, we're not gonna sleep on them. But I don't see them having anywhere close to the success they've had in recent years. So if they want to go for size, I think Camilla Borkowska would be the player to go with. She's 6'7". So I'm gonna say Borkowska finishes off this list. And Rhea Marshall, unfortunately, on the short end of the stick. All right, so that's my update there on the bench. So we already know Yvonne Anderson was making it. I added Layla Lacan and JC Sheldon at the other guard spots. Sanaya Rivers and Anissa Morrow, Amy Okonkwo, and Camilla Borkowska. And that puts us at the max of 12 players that can make this Connecticut Sun team. Unfortunately, that means Rhea Marshall does not make it. But listen, this is just predictions based on the evidence or the information we have. Anything can happen. So this is our predict. Anybody have any differing opinion here about who I've chosen? Anybody you think should make it? Robin Parks, I know was on the bubble, but I'm not too sure if she'll make it. Mabry says I can see them getting blown out by the Liberty. Yeah, I mean they used to play us tough when they had the dream team over there, but we still ended up winning. So without not even probably Marina the last Mohican from the glory days. I see them just being foddered for the Liberty. We're just farming wins on them. But they do play in the preseason on May 9th, which is not this coming Friday, but next Friday. So that'll be something to watch and see how what lineups the new coach does. Rashid Mezian, let's see what lineups he decides to choose for their team. All right, so we're already through. We're making it through some teams. We already went through Atlanta, Chicago, and now Connecticut. Now let's go to the team that was the talk of the town the past couple weeks, the Dallas Wings. So the Dallas Wings, as we know, had the #1 overall pick in the WNBA draft. And with that, they took Paige Beckers out of UConn, the UConn Huskies, who just won the NCAA championship. So let's get to it. So I was thinking about this for a while, and then I was like, let's be realistic. There's no way they wouldn't. So starting five, Paige Beckers, the rookie, she will get the start, in my opinion. Marike Gumbawale on a protected contract. Dejanay Carrington acquired in the trade from the aforementioned Connecticut Sun. She on a guaranteed as well. Maisha Hines-Allen signed as a free agent. She played with Washington for part of the year, got traded to the Minnesota Lynx, and now she's with the Dallas Wings. So I think she'll get that starting 4 spot. And Tierra McCowan, the longtime center for the Wings, she's at the 5. The other 2 players who are on guaranteed contracts are Maddie Siegrist and Alyssa Smith. Maddie Siegrist had a hell of a offseason. She was hooping over there in Athletes Unlimited. I think she was the most valuable player. She accumulated the most points. She really was hooping over there in Athletes Unlimited. And I know she was probably hoping that she would be coming back to Dallas to have a starting spot, because when she started, when they were going through all their issues last year, she played really well until she ended up getting hurt. Dallas was just an injury-prone team last year. But we'll see. Maddie Siegrist still has a potential to start. She can start at the 4. I don't think she'll be starting over Dejanay. So the only spot available for her to compete for is that 4 spot with Maisha Hines-Allen. Alyssa Smith acquired in the trade from the Indiana Fever this offseason as well. She's on a guaranteed contract. I know she's been the butt of a lot of jokes recently, but she was a #2 overall pick. She still can contribute. Just didn't have the best year last season for whatever reason. All right, the other people on the roster, as we can see, I have all the players in orange as the players who just got drafted. So you have Ty Harris, who was acquired from Connecticut, J.J. Quinterly, who was drafted out of West Virginia, Mai Yamamoto, the Japanese player, Isaiah James out of NC State, Mackenzie Forbes, Kayla Charles, Maston Scott out of Ole Miss, who was just drafted, Micaiah Herbert Harrigan. I think she was a part of that trade. She was played with Phoenix last year, so she was a part of that trade that sent Sevgi Uzun and Kalani Brown over to Phoenix with Satu. Power forward, you have Joyner Holmes, recently played with Seattle, if I remember correctly. Louisa Gesselsolder, excuse me, German international, hasn't played in the W. She would be considered a rookie. She plays on the same team with Leila Lacan over in France, Basket Lawns. I have some highlights of her on the highlights channel as well. And Aronette Von Lay out of Baylor, the rookie. Catching up on some comments. Maybe said y'all def one in the offseason. Yeah, I think so. Con Landing says since the 2021 season, Connecticut Sun has had the second most regular season wins in the league with 106 to the Vegas Aces 111. Yeah, sounds about right. They were a really solid team. They just can never get over that hump. They made it to the championship one year and lost. They just couldn't get over the hump. That was the Aces the Sun issue, which is why they're in the predicament that they're in now, because after so many times making it to the mountaintop or close to the mountaintop and failing, something got to give. And the whole team said, "All right, I got to go. I don't know what you doing, but I'm leaving." And everybody left. So it's unfortunate for them, but don't keep me up at night. So looking at the rest of this team, they can have a max of 12 players. They currently have 7. So they need 5 more to fill the spot. As you can see, the spots where they're lacking, right now: point guard, shooting guard, and center. So I know for a fact Ty Harris is making this roster. Ty Harris will be the backup point guard. She can play the two guard as well. So Ty Harris on my list. I don't know about J.J. Quinterly or Mai Yamamoto. I think the height might not play in their favor. Looking at their, let me look at this right quick. So looking at the height of J.J. Quinterly, J.J. Quinterly is 5'8". Yamamoto is 5'4". So if we're being realistic, I don't think those two make the roster. And it's not that they're not good players, but the height is a major disadvantage. So I'm going Ty Harris at the point as the backup point. At the 2, where we have Isaiah James, Mackenzie Forbes, and Kayla Charles, I think Isaiah James will make the roster. So I'm going to put Isaiah James. Mackenzie Forbes, Kayla Charles, I'll have to come back to them. I'll have to see who's left out after I choose my people. At the forward spot, you got the rookie Madison Scott, or you got Kiki Herbert Harrigan. I think they'll go youth. So I think they'll go Madison Scott. I'm going to go Madison Scott. Okay. So we got Madison Scott there. And then at the center position, do they want to go Twin Towers again with another a big player out of Baylor? Kalani Brown, I believe, played at Baylor with Kim Mulkey, if I remember correctly, and Aronette Von Lay out of Baylor. Or do they go Louisa Gesser-Solder? Louisa can shoot the three as well. She's a stretch big. Louisa is 6'4". Aronette Von Lay is 6'3". So I'm gonna say Louisa. I'm gonna go with Louisa to make this roster as a backup. She's still overseas though, so that may play against her if she's not able to get over here in time to be a part of training camp. So take that pick with a grain of salt. But I think Louisa Gesser-Solder, excuse me, will make it, adding to the German contingent, replacing the German Satsu with the German Louisa. All right, so we got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we need one more player. Looking at the comments, Daniel says Ty Harris, Isaiah James, Madison Scott, Joyner Holmes, Louisa Gesser-Solder all make the roster. I like Joyner Holmes from what I've seen. She's a solid role player. I just think at that power forward position, there's players that they can swap in and out there. And I'm not sure what the new coach, because Dallas also has a new coach. I think his name is Tyler. Oh, sorry, Chris. Almost Tyler Coclanes. Chris Coclanes. Sorry if I'm butchering boy name, but they have a new coach. So I'm not sure what his philosophy is, but if I had to guess, I know Tierra McCowan always throughout the season, she's not the most consistent player. So I'm gonna go wild card, and I'm gonna go Aronette Von Lay. Aronette Von Lay makes the roster. I'm not super certain on this one. I'm just going with a wild card here. I think with the Tierra McCowan situation, I think this will be a good year to see if Tierra McCowan is the future big of the Dallas Wings. Let me look at her contract. If we're looking at Tierra's contract, Tierra McCowan, she's an unrestricted free agent as everybody coming in 2026. So I think they would want to figure out who their next big woman is, if that's the decision or that's the way they want to play. So I'm going Aronette Von Lay. That's the only. I think that's the only way. Only place we differ, Daniel, is between Joyner Holmes and Aronette. But I'm gonna just make sure I signify all our rookies. So in my prediction, I have four of the five rookies making the opening day roster. What are y'all's thoughts on this? So Paige Beckers has a backup in Ty Harris. Enrique Agumbawale has a backup in Isaiah James. Dejanay Carrington has Madison Scott or Maddie Seegers, however they want to go. Maisha Hines Allen has a backup in Nelissa Smith or Maddie Seegers, depending on where they place them. And then for their bigs, Tierra McCowan has two backups in Louisa Gessel-Soder and Aronette Von Lay. So I think that's solid enough coverage on all fronts there. I think that's solid enough coverage for everybody. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. In the meantime, let us get ready to move on to the next team, which is the newest team in the W, the Golden State Valkyries. Golden State Valkyries, newest team. They have all the money in the world due to just signing a lot of international players and players on minimums. So they can sign up to 12 players. Their starting five projected by me: Julie Van Loo, Tiffany Hayes, Kate Martin, Monique Billings, Temi Benley. Their bench players that are on guaranteed: Kayla Thornton and Stephanie Talbot. Damn, Kayla. Like every time I see Kayla over in Golden State, it makes me a little annoyed. They stole her in the expansion draft from my New York Liberty. But their other players who have reported, they have Carla Late, who's the rookie that was drafted by who drafted Carla Late? Was it Dallas that drafted Carla Late and let her get picked up in the expansion draft? Caitlin Chen out of UConn, Veronica Burton, who was picked up from the Connecticut Sun in the expansion draft. Cheyenne Sellers out of Maryland, the rookie. Cecilia Zandalicini out of from Italy, but played with Minnesota. Chloe Bibby on the training camp. Janelle Salon, the French woman, currently playing in Italy. Minga Torre, not too familiar with her game. Letitia Amahir, know she used to play with Atlanta. Kiara Linskins, I think she's Belgian. And Alyssa Cunane. So let me go to the Golden State Valkyries roster on my side. I'm just making sure I got everybody. And Alyssa Cunane, she played at NC State. I think she was at least on a roster last year. Chloe Bibby, rookie out of Maryland on a training camp contract. Linskins, as I was right, she's 6'4" out of Belgium, hasn't played in the W as of yet. All right. I know people are like, where is the other rookie? Yosite or Yosite, the Lithuanian young woman. She's not reporting for training camp. I think she was just a draft and to have her rights, for the future, probably next year. So no Yuste Yosite. She was the 5th overall pick in this past draft. She will not be reporting this season. So they can have 12. They currently have 7 signed, or 7 who I think will make it. Let's fill out the rest of the roster. If you're not familiar with Carla Late, get familiar with her. I got videos of her on the Her Hoops Highlights channel as well. She was playing over in France. Her team won the Euro Cup. She was the most valuable player of the Euro Cup season. Absolute beast of a guard. Can get everybody involved, can get downhill, hits that mid-range jump shot really well. She's a French woman as well. The French develop a lot of really, really good players. So Carla Late is on my list. I don't know. So that puts us at 8. I'm gonna skip over. I'm gonna say Cheyenne Sellers. I think Cheyenne Sellers will make the roster. I know I was giving her a little poking a little fun at her on draft night about the whole brace situation when people were saying that she fell further than she should have, I was poking a little fun at her, but I think she'll make that roster. Cheyenne Sellers. We keep going down the list. I'm gonna go Xander Lassini also makes it. She's a very good 3-point shooter. She annoyed me a lot last year when we played the Minnesota Lynx in the regular season. When the Liberty did, she was always coming off the bench and hitting big threes for them. So Chechi, as they were nicknamed her, Xander Lassini will make the roster. Janelle Salon, get familiar with her as well. 6'2" out of France. One of the best French players they have on their team. I think she'll make this roster as well. She is reporting. I think she's still overseas playing with her Italian team. I think her team is in the second round of the playoffs over there. So she should be reporting as soon as she can. But Janelle Salon, I think she makes the roster. She does have a brother that plays for the Charlotte Hornets in the NBA. Forgot his first name, but he's also a Salon, of course. Um, and then their backup bigs, they definitely gonna need some. So I'm gonna say Letitia Amahir does make this roster as well. We've yet to see her full potential. She was playing off the bench a lot for the Atlanta Dream. So we never got to really see her potential unless it was garbage time minutes. So I'm going with Letitia Amahir, and then at the center spot, do we go between Kiara Linskins and Alyssa Kunane? Alyssa Kunane is 6'5". Linskins, where's Linskins? I just saw her. Linskins is 6'4". Kunane is 6'5". So it's really a pick your poison there. I'm gonna just go Alyssa Kunane. Actually, no. I'm gonna stick with the international connection. Kiara Linskins playing with her Belgian point guard and Julie Van Loo. I'm gonna go Kiara Linskins. Another thing to note, people, is that this year is Eurobasket for a lot of the players that play over in Europe for their national team. Um so players like Julie Van Loo, Gabby Williams, Leonie Fibich from the Liberty, Niara Sabally, excuse me. For some weeks in June, they'll have to report over to their national teams to participate in that. I think it's sort of like a qualification for the Olympics or for the World Cup, essentially, for basketball, the FIBA World Cup. So they'll have to report. So a lot of these players, even though they might not make the opening day roster, they'll probably be needed throughout the season to fill in on some hardship contracts. So you're not only trying out for right now, you're trying out for a spot um in like mid-June when once majority of the players have to report overseas. So that's something to keep in mind. So I think that's my decision there. Let me know y'all thoughts. So I have Carla Late, Cheyenne Sellers, Kayla Thornton, Cecilia Zandalasini, Janelle Salon, Steph Talbot, Letitia Amahir, and Kiara Linskins filling out that bench role for the Golden State Valkyries. So what that puts that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I think I added too many players. I gotta take a player off. I'm at 13. I need to get to 12. Sorry, Kiara Linskins. I'm gonna have to take Kiara Linskins off, and I'll move Letitia Amahir down here to the center position, and that puts us at 12. So I think that's it right there. Anybody have any other thoughts? I know a lot of these players haven't played in the W that we're debating between. I know I left Caitlin Chen and Veronica Burton off. So, I don't know. I'm not too sure. That means I would have to drop like a Cecilia Zandalasini to put one of them on. It's a tough one. It's a really tough one. But Caitlin Chen, she was a third round pick. Third round picks don't usually make the roster. So it's a long shot for her to make this roster though. So that's why I have her on the outside looking in. Any thoughts about that? Let me know in the chat. But I think this ends up being the roster. All right, so we're moving on nicely with this. Let's move on to the team that America's team, as they call it, the Indiana Fever. So the Indiana Fever, of course, with Caitlin Clark at the helm, they got a new coach in Stephanie White, who left the Connecticut Sun to become the coach there back in her home state. They made a big splash in acquiring a lot of solid veterans and some other tertiary pieces to pair around Caitlin, Kelsey, and Aaliyah. So let's go over the projected starting lineup. You have Caitlin Clark, of course, Kelsey Mitchell, Natasha Howard, DeWanna Bonner, and Aaliyah Boston as the starting five. Their bench, they have Lexi Hull and Demiris Dantas as the other guaranteed contracts that they have on their roster. So Indiana can only have 11 players on their roster. They currently have 7. So they can only add about 4 more players. So if we're looking at the other players that are available, they have Sydney Colson, who I think will just have to make the roster due to them not even having another option at backup point. So Sydney Colson will make this roster. Then you go to the shooting guard. They acquired Sophie Cunningham in the trade, so I'm assuming Sophie Cunningham will have to make this roster. Sophie Cunningham. And then if we keep looking at this list, you have Yvonne Ejim, the rookie. You have Breezy Turner, Jillian Elaine, and Michaela Timpson. So we already have 5, 6, 7. I already added 2, so that's 9. So we need 2 more players. 2 more players to fill this roster. Where are they lacking? At the center position, they'll need some assistance down there. If we're looking at, I think Michaela Timpson, she's 6'3", if I remember correctly. What team we're looking at? The Indiana Fever. I think Michaela Timpson is 6'3". Let's see, Michaela Timpson. Yeah, she's 6'2" out of Florida State. Man, even DeWanna Bonner's taller than her. I think you got Brianna Turner at 6'3", Aaliyah Boston at 6'5". I don't know where they go from here. I do not know where they go from here. You got 2 more spots you need to fill. And where do they go? I'm gonna just save this right now so you can see what I've updated already. Sydney Colson, Sophie Cunningham at the point and at the 2. And then we need 2 more players to fill this out. Do they go with the rookie Bree Hall and a big, or do they go double big? And that's where I'm a little confused. Any Fever fans in here? I know y'all probably been consuming all the content that they've been putting out. They're really good at recently putting out content since Caitlin's been there. So I do not know where they go with this. Brianna Turner's very limited in her offensive game. She's really just a pick and roll player and a offensive rebounder. So I don't know if that's what's this. I'm not familiar with Jillian Aleen's game. Michaela Timpson, I know I saw when I watched Florida State during the tournament. She was blocking everything, a defensive presence. I think Stephanie, now that I'm talking it out, I think Stephanie White goes with her. Because Michaela Timpson, she may not play the 5, but she will probably play the 4. I'm going to just put her in here at the 5 spot. Michaela Timpson. And she has a little offensive game to her as well. So we just need 1 more spot here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players for 1 spot. To go Jaylen Brown, who played with Dallas Wings last year. Bree Hall, the rookie. Or do you go with a forward like Ejim? or Brown and Turner, Jillian Aline. This is where it gets tough. This is where it gets tough. Jillian Aline. Let me see what she working with. We were born the same year. She was born September 8, 1994. She was in the 2016 draft. Oh, snap. The 20th pick. 6'2", played at Oregon. Um didn't really have um too much shine in the W. She didn't really play too much. Um so I don't know if she's the answer there. Don't know if she's the answer. Um I'm gonna just throw a wild card out there. And I'm gonna say Bree Hall. How tall is Bree Hall? Bree Hall 6'1" out of South Carolina. I'm gonna go with Bree Hall. When in doubt, go with some defense. So I'm gonna go Bree Hall, 6'1". The rookie makes the cut as the last pick. Bree Hall out of South Carolina. So that should put a bow on it. Just signify that she's a rookie. Michaela Timpson, make sure she's a rookie. And boom. So that figures out the 11 for me. Got Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, Natasha Howard, DeWanna Bonner, Aaliyah Boston, and their bench. You got Sid Colson, Sophie Cunningham, Lexi Hull, Bree Hall, Damiris Dantas, and Michaela Timpson. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't think anybody else available helps this team out any more than this squad could. They're probably gonna. I mean, there'll never be a moment when the whole bench is on the floor unless it's a blowout in either direction. So they'll just be plugging and playing, whether it's Sophie Cunningham coming in for Kelsey Mitchell, or if Caitlin goes to the bench, Kelsey comes in with Sid Colson. So they'll definitely have to mix and match, but I think this is what their final 11 ends up with. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. We're going to keep moving on. Next, we got the Las Vegas Aces. So the Las Vegas Aces got eliminated by my New York Liberty, who were on the revenge tour last year. Eliminated them from the playoffs in the second round. They lost a little bit over the off season, but they gained a little bit more. I mean, not a little bit more, but they gained another piece there. So they're starting five, as you can see, all in green. They're all on protected contracts. Chelsea Gray, Jewel Lloyd, Jackie Young, Asia Wilson, Kia Stokes, and then Dana Evans, who they acquired from the Chicago Sky. So they have 6 players on protected contracts. They can have a max of 12 players, so you have 6 more players to fill out the roster. They drafted Harmony Turner out of Harvard in this past draft. Deja Kelly was picked up after the draft as a training camp contract out of Oregon. Tiffany Mitchell, who played with the Sun last year, I know she started dealing with a illness that kept her out a lot of the Sun's season. Thankfully, she's back well. Aaliyah Nye, the rookie out of Alabama. Crystal Bradford, who made a name for herself in Athletes Unlimited. Kirsten Bell, who's been there. Jordan Jenkins. Then you have Cheyenne Parker Tice. I have a double asterisk by her name because she is going to miss this the beginning of the season as she is currently pregnant, so she will not be playing the beginning of the season. Megan Gustafson, who was on the team last year. Elizabeth Kitley, who they drafted last year, held on to her rights, and now she's ready to go as their center. And Queen Egbo, who I think she's ended up signing on to the team towards the end of last season. So, out of the 6 that are already here, we need 6 more. I'm going to just go off the rip and say immediately Elizabeth Kitley is on my list to make this roster. So I'm going to put Liz Kitley. I think Becky Hammon has high expectations of her, which is why they held on to her rights. At the guard position, guard slash forward position, I think Kirsten Bell is probably gonna make this roster. I know a lot of people have their thoughts on Kirsten Bell, but I think she will make this roster. Where's her name? The Las Vegas Aces. Kirsten Bell. Oh, I forgot. Kirsten Bell is also on a protected contract. I totally forgot to put that there. So let me add Kirsten Bell to the protected contract list. Kirsten Bell. So they can't get rid of her unless they pay her to leave or they trade her away. But Kirsten Bell, so that puts us at 8. We got 4 more. I think Harmony Turner will make this roster. Harmony Turner, the rookie out of Harvard, will make this roster. I'm not sure what they're gonna do with Cheyenne Parker Tyus. If they're do they just I don't know, do they suspend it for a little bit? I don't know. Can you suspend a contract for a little bit and then get her off suspension? Not too sure, but I know Cheyenne Parker will eventually come back to play. But in the meantime, I'm going to say Crystal Bradford also makes this roster. Crystal Bradford. So let me save this right now and see what we got. We got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we got 2 more spots here. 2 more spots. I'm going to just say Cheyenne Parker Tyus for now. Cheyenne Parker Tyus will slot in at that power forward position. I know they had high hopes for her. She had a down year last year playing with the Atlanta Dream. She went from starting to the bench and then barely got any minutes. Cheyenne Parker Tyus. And then does Megan Gustafson make the roster? I mean, looking at what they got, I don't know. They don't have a lot of guard play. So I'm thinking another guard has to join that fray. I'm going to go with Tiffany Mitchell. Tiffany Mitchell. I know I'm probably wrong here, but that's what I'm feeling right now. So their bench consists of Harmony Turner, the rookie, Tiffany Mitchell, Dana Evans, Crystal Bradford, Kirsten Bell, Cheyenne Parker Tyus, and Liz Kitley. That fills out their 12 roster spots there. What are y'all thoughts? Let me know in the comments. What are your thoughts on this Aces roster? Is it enough to get them back to contention? Or is this looking like a down year for the Aces? They still have most of their core, even though Kelsey Plum is gone. They replaced her with Jewel Lloyd. Even though Jewel's a bit older, but they still have Chelsea Gray, as you saw on Unrivaled. She could still hoop. She could still hoop. Jackie Young was injured in Unrivaled, wasn't at her best. She did show flashes and glimpses of her game, but she was injured. Asia Wilson just came off the MVP season. Does she go back for another high scoring season? And then Kia Stokes, you know what I say about Kia Stokes. She sometimes just be out there doing cardio, just running around, grabbing rebounds. They be waving her off on offense. Mom says Aaliyah Nye. Yeah, I was contemplating Aaliyah Nye, but who do I drop in her stead? That's the thing. If anybody I would have to drop for Aaliyah, it would be Crystal Bradford. But I don't know. But Aaliyah Nye is on my bubble though. She would probably be the next person in for me. Aaliyah Nye. So that's the Las Vegas Aces roster. Let me know any more of your thoughts in the comments below. We're going to keep on pushing. So next, we got the team that Kelsey Plum was traded to, the Los Angeles Sparks. Daniel, I know this is your team if you're still here in the chat. So we got our starting 5 here. This is what I think. Odyssey Sims, Kelsey Plum, Rakia Jackson, De'Erica Hamby, and Azare Stevens. You see, I have Cameron Brink here on the bench. Cameron Brink, they said she's not going to be ready to play until June, sometime in June, July. So that's why I don't have her starting to start the season. I have her still on the team, of course, but not starting. The green means they got guaranteed contracts. So Plum, Hamby, and Stevens are the only players with guaranteed contracts on this roster. So the Sparks, they have Ari McDonald and Julie Alamon. Julie Alamon, you see the double asterisk. She just had like a surgery last week or so on a lower extremity. I don't know if it was a knee or an ankle. So she's gonna be out for a little bit. You have Shanice Swain out of Australia, Sarah Ashley Barker, out of the University of Alabama. Ray Burrell, Alyssa Utsby, she was a undrafted pickup after the draft. She played at UNC. You have Nelly Molly from, I think she plays, she's from Australia. Leah Tu King out of Notre Dame. Sanaya Fagan out of South Carolina. Emma Cannon, the vet. You have Mercedes Russell, who was acquired. She used to play for the Seattle Storm. And you have Masha Klondikova, or Maria. She used to play. She was used to play with the Sparks back in like 2018 or so. Um, and then, but I guess she got out of the league, and now they've re-signed her on a training camp contract. So for the Los Angeles Sparks, they can sign a max of 12 players. They can sign a max of 12 players. So they currently have 6 on the roster in my projection. Let's fill out the rest of the roster. So looking at it now, I'm gonna say, just off rip, Sarah Ashley Barker, Ray Burrell, and Mercedes Russell are all making this roster. So I'm gonna just put their names in here. So I'm gonna go Sarah Ashley Barker, Ray Burrell at the small forward, Ray Burrell, and then I'm gonna put Mercedes Russell after Cameron Brink here. Mercedes Russell. Okay, so I added those already. So that puts us at 6, 7, 8, 9. So we need 3 more. I know the Sparks are very high on Shanice Swain, but they do need a backup point guard. Kelsey Plum, I guess she could play it in a pinch. And I know they probably want Julie Ullman. I'm not sure how long her recovery is going to take from the injury. But this is what I'll do. So I need 3 more. I think I have 9, right? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I need 3 more. I'm gonna say wild card is Sanaya Fagan at the power forward. Sanaya Fagan. I don't think Leah Tu King makes this roster. I think her energy is good, but I just don't think her offensive game is good enough. So I'm gonna say Sanaya Fagan. I'm gonna go with Julie Alamon, even though she's hurt right now. But I know they want her definitely. And I'm gonna go Shanice Swain. I know they're very high on Shanice Swain. Look up some highlights of Shanice. She's a really good player. Shanice Swain. Really good young player at that too. So that's my prediction here. So I got Julie Alamon. I put the double asterisk because she's injured. Sarah Ashley Barker, Shanice Swain, Ray Burrell, Sanaya Fagan, Cameron Brink, and Mercedes Russell. That puts us at 12. I think they may be able. I think if they go under, I think if they're at 10 or below, you are able to sign hardship contracts. So Julie Alamon's not able to play. Cameron Brink's not able to play. I think they'll be able to sign a player on a hardship, which is where one of these other players can join into the fray here. But to start, I think this is it. Let me know your thoughts about the LA Sparks. You think somebody else should make it over the people I have here? I know for a fact Barker, Burrell, and Brink and Russell should make this roster. The others are up for debate, but should be interesting to see. It will be interesting to see. The LA Sparks. So got a few teams left, about 4 or 5 teams left. Salute to everybody who joined. Make sure if you're new here, leave a subscription. It's my second year doing this, going over the rosters and trying to predict who will and will not make the team. So we're gonna keep on pushing as we go. So we have the runner-ups last year, the Minnesota Lynx. They could fit 12 people on the roster, and their starting 5 should be pretty much the same as last year. Courtney Williams, McBride, Carlton, Nafisa Collier, and Alana Smith. Their bench, you have Natisha Heidemann, and I butchered Carly Samuelson's name. Let me fix that right quick in my rush to type. Samuelson. Carly Samuelson was acquired this offseason in a trade between the Wizards. Oh, I said the Wizards. The Mystics and the Lynx. So that puts them at 7 out of their 12 players. So the other players they have, point guard, they have Grace Berger, who was acquired from Indiana, Kristen Williams, Diamond Johnson, who was signed on a training camp, played at Norfolk State, the HBCU. You have Kiara Leslie, Reagan Richardson out of Duke, that was signed after the draft. You have Diamond Miller, Asia Petty, Cameron Taylor, Alyssa Pili. Your power forward, you have Delea Daniels, who was their 2025 first draft pick, their second draft pick, and Anastasia Olario Kosu out of Russia, who was their first draft pick. Jessica Shepard returning to the Minnesota Lynx. And then you have Dorka Juhas and Mariam Badian out of France. So Dorka Juhas has an asterisk by her name because she's still overseas playing in Italy. Anastasia is still overseas I think she's in Russia playing. So those two have not reported yet to training camp as of today. If their seasons are over, before training camp is over, then they'll end up reporting. But to the matter at hand, we have 7 players. We have 12 spots. That leaves 5 open. And let's start to fill them up. So, look, you said is Meg Gustafson protected? Looking from the Aces, Meg Gustafson. Looking at it I'm looking at her hoop stats. They have all the protections and whatnot. Meg Gustafson is on an unprotected contract. Kim, thanks for your comment though. Really appreciate the interaction. All right, so let's get into the Minnesota Lynx. This is interesting to me. I don't know where they go. Do they still trust Diamond Miller? She's been injured almost every season they played. Yeah, see, Con landing on the same wavelength as me. Diamond Miller hasn't lived up to the expectations since being drafted second after Aaliyah Boston. Yeah, I don't see. I know she had an injury and that probably affected her, affected the way she plays, but I just don't see it. They've given her opportunities and it just hasn't panned out, in my opinion. So where do they go? I think they'll keep Alyssa Pili. I'm gonna say they keep Alyssa Pili. When she got a little bit of minutes last season, she has some pretty nice moments for the team. I know what's her name? Shower Reeve, the head coach, has spoken highly of this Anastasia Kosu young lady. So I'm gonna just put her on there because she's spoken really high of her. And I'm gonna say Dorka. I'm gonna say Dorka makes it. Dorka Juhas out of UConn. I know a lot of people not familiar with Mariam Badian. Mariam is a French player. I've been mentioning a lot of players representing France. She is really good player out of France, Mariam. Badian. I'm gonna get you her specifics. Roster. Mariam Badian. She's a 6'3". Can spread the floor. She is really good. I forgot what team she plays for. I was watching some games. I think she played for Fenerbahce with Niara Sabli and Gabby Williams and Emma Mieseman this offseason. 30 years of age, 6'3". She can really hoop. So I think she'll make it as well. So that puts me at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That puts me at 11 already. Jeez. So where do we go from here? Does Diamond Miller make the cut? I don't know. Does the returning Jessica Shepard steal somebody's spot? I don't think the rookie Delia Daniels makes it, unfortunately. Conline says Cheryl Reed 22 signing of Ariel Powers to a max deal, but yeah, Ariel Powers. I don't even think Ariel Powers is signed to any team this year. She's just not she shows some moments of brilliance, but for the most part, Ariel Powers just unfortunately ain't it. I don't know who to go with. I don't know who they go with. I might just say they might give Diamond Miller another shot. They might give Diamond Miller another shot. So I'm gonna just put Diamond Miller. I'm not super confident in that pick, but I don't think well, this will be her third season. I think they give her one more shot, and then if it doesn't pan out, then it's a free for all in 2026 to sign people, so they can just let her walk. But she may be on that guaranteed. It might be a team option for that year. Let me look at the Minnesota links. So Diamond Miller, yeah, it's a team option. They can opt out of it before paying her guaranteed money. So I think they'll give Diamond Miller, excuse me, one last ride. See how it pans out this year, and then if anything, they just cut their losses in the free agency bonanza. So that's my final picks here. So to go along with the starting five, we have Heidemann and Samuelson. Then we have Miller and Pili, Kosu at the forward, and then we have Uhas and Badian. Now that I'm looking at it, I don't know if Kosu makes it. She might go all reliable and go Jessica Shepard, even though Shepard hasn't played and didn't play in the W last season. But I'm gonna leave it as is. Anastasia Kosu with Uhas and Badian and everybody else there. Any thoughts? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Salute to everybody still hanging around. I have a few teams left. We just got about 4 teams left now. Liberty, Mercury, Storm, and Mystics. After the Lynx, you got to go to the Libs. That's the squad. New York Liberty, this is the team I feel most confident about because it's the team I follow. So, starting 5. The Liberty can have a max of 12 players. Starting 5 to me, that's Natasha Cloud, who we acquired in the offseason from the Connecticut Sun, traded away some picks for her. Sabrina Ionescu, Leonie Fibic, Brianna Stewart, and Jonquil Jones. There's an asterisk by Leonie because she's still overseas in Spain playing for Valencia in the Spanish playoffs. It was reported today that if her team makes it all the way to the finals, she could be coming here after training camp is over, after the first game of the season or the first day of the season. So something to keep an eye on. I've been chopping up some highlights for her whenever she has a good game over in Valencia. So will be keeping a eye on Leonie Fibic. She won't even have not a lick of rest when she comes over if it goes all the way. Her team makes it all the way to the finals over there, but we'll see what happens. As you can see, the Liberty only have 3 players on guaranteed contracts for this season. But let's look at the rest of the players on the training camp roster. So you have Jalen Sherrod at the point. You have Marine Johannes making her return to the States. I think she just came back to the States today. So they're giving her a little bit of time to rest after playing overseas. Marquisha Davis, the rookie from last year. Rebecca Gardner, who tore her ACL last year playing overseas. Liberty picked up her or traded for her, nursed her back to health, and now ready to unleash her on the league. Kennedy Burke making her return as Mary Martinez was the Liberty's 2024 draft second round draft pick, if I remember correctly. Didn't make the final roster, went over to France to play. Played pretty well in France and now trying to make the team a second time here. Liana Odom, we drafted her, I think 2020, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't I think she played on the team a little bit and then she was out of the league. Now they brought her back as a training camp contract. Isabel Harrison, we acquired in free agency from the Chicago Sky, where she last played. Caitlin Davis was one of our draft picks last. It was the last year or the year before. Didn't make the roster, and Yara Sabali, of course, our young budding center out of Oregon, who let's just say now is going to make the team. So let me just add her to the list. Niara Sabali. I already have who I think is gonna make the team here, so I'm gonna just let y'all know. So Maureen Johannes is making this roster. Rebecca Gardner making this roster. Yeah, Rebecca Gardner. Now if you go down to the small forward position, we got Kennedy Burke. And my wild card is Esmery Martinez. This is if the Liberty decide to suspend Benijah Laney Hamilton's contract. She's on a protected contract, but she is injured, and she's just had surgery a couple or like last month. So if the Liberty decide to suspend her contract for the season, that frees up around $200,000 plus dollars. Let me look at it. Let me pull up the Liberty's one. So Benijah is due $185,000. If they able to suspend that and get that money freed up, that's enough to sign about two players and still have some money left over to pick somebody else up, if need be. So that being said, as Mary Martinez is my wild card to make the roster, she will probably be my final pick. I think of course Isabel Harrison at the power forward makes this roster. So that's what we got right now. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then my final pick is Marquisha Davis, the Liberty's first round pick from last season. So I think she will make the roster as well. Marquisha Davis. Boom. So that's my prediction here. Let me clean this up a bit. There we go. Cool. So Natasha Cloud will have point guard duties in a pinch, and Sabrina can slide up to the point guard. Rebecca Gardner also capable of handling the ball. Maureen Johann is also capable. So we have a lot of people capable of handling the ball at that position. You have Marquisha Davis, who's had a really good year in China, likes to get downhill, can score. Rebecca Gardner, same thing. She can score, get downhill, play defense. Kennedy Burke, as Mary Martinez on the wings. Kennedy Burke, about a 35% shooter from three, needs to get it a little higher to about 38 to 40 if she can. As Mary Martinez, very good on the defensive end. I'm looking forward to seeing her develop. Isabel Harrison, a stretch four, can post up, can shoot three. Hopefully her knee stays healthy this season. And Niara Sabali, we've seen what she can do. Shine her brightest in the finals when we needed her most. So that's my prediction here for the New York Liberty. Unless something else changes, they sign somebody else to a contract that I was not expecting. But this is my prediction for the Liberty's roster here. Leave your comments in the comment section. Leave your questions, comments down there. We're gonna keep moving on to the next team. Phoenix Mercury. The Phoenix Mercury, they had a big overhaul this season. this offseason, I should say, they traded away Natasha Cloud. They acquired, Alyssa Thomas and Satu Sabali as their big fish. And I know people are looking like, yo, this lineup is crazy. What are you talking about, Alyssa Thomas at the point? But listen, this is I'm thinking this is how Nate Tibbetts, the coach, is gonna think. He said he's gonna play Alyssa Thomas in a bunch of different positions. So why not the point? He did mention the point as well. So I'm gonna say Alyssa Thomas at the point with Sammy Whitcomb at the 2, Kalia at the 3, Satu Sabali at the 4, Kalani Brown at the 5. So that is my prediction there for the starting lineup. I know Alyssa Thomas at the point is probably a stretch. It's probably a little a little wild of me to say, but listen, I think she can make. I think he'll start her at the point. Kylan said, "Is there a chance Benigna Laney Hamilton can return this season?" There is a chance, but it's gonna be towards end of August, beginning of September. And I think the Liberty will already have been in a rhythm and got into a rhythm with their lineups that they'll just be like, Benigna, just rest it out and come back. If we want to bring you back next year, we'll bring you back next year fully healthy, because Benigna, this isn't her first rodeo with knee injuries, with leg injuries. So I think the Liberty would want to get her, make sure she's as healthy as possible going into free agency, because that's the last thing you want her come back in the playoffs, get hurt again, and then that messes up the rest of her career. And I think that what the Liberty have is enough to withstand her missing. But the Phoenix Mercury, that's my 5. Katija Lexa's a forward. She's on a guaranteed contract. She's primarily a 3-point shooter. So that's what we got there. All right, so looking at the other players, you got Sevgi Uzun, who they acquired from Dallas. Shyla Heal from Australia. She played in the league before, played for the Chicago Sky. Megan McConnell, Lexi Hell, Monique McConney, Celeste Taylor, who was drafted by the Fever, bounced around a little bit until she found a home in Phoenix. Helena Puello, Anna Macarat. Then you have Alexis Prince, Tamira Poindexter, Catherine Westbell, Merjanato Musa, and Natasha Mack at the center. Off rip, I think they need point guard, so I'm gonna go Sevgi. Sevgi makes the roster. Sevgi Uzun out of Turkey makes the roster as the backup point. I think they need some help on the perimeter defensive wise. I think Celeste Taylor, since she played for them last year, she should have the edge there. Celeste Taylor. At the forward position, I'm gonna go. They can have 12 players, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go down to the power forward. I'm gonna go Merjanatu Musa out of Nigeria. I made a highlight video of her playing in the playoffs overseas. She went absolutely crazy in a game that her team, I think she plays for Tarbes over there in France. That team absolutely needed every bucket. She scored like 12, 13 in the fourth quarter and hit basically the series winner to push her team to the next round. So they have her classified as a 6'2" center. I'm going to put her as a power forward here. And Natasha Mack, in my opinion, makes the roster as well. She played with the team last year. So they can have 12 players. I got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can add 2 more players. I'm going to go. I think this coach likes the 3-point shooter, so I'm gonna go with Tamira Poindexter. She played at K-State. She went absolutely crazy in that game. I forgot who they played, where she was knocking down. She struggled in the first half and then started knocking down 3 after 3. To give K-State the win, if I remember correctly. So Tamira Poindexter with the 11, and then to close it out. I like Shyla Heal. I watched a couple of her highlights. Shyla Heal out of Australia. What are we looking at? Phoenix team. So Shyla Heal is 5'6". That's the thing that's against her. She's 5'6" out of Australia, so her height plays against her there. Megan McConnell is 5'7". That's the only other person at that point guard spot. And then you start looking at players like Anna Macarat, who's 6'2", went to college at Connecticut. Monique Koa Makani, 5'11", out of Cameroon. Lexa Held, 5'10", out of DePaul. So it gets to just basically pulling the name out of a hat at this point for me. I'm going to just put Shyla Heal. She can get buckets. Shyla Heal. And that closes it out for me. So on top of their starting five, they have Sevgi and Shyla at the lead guard. Then you have Celeste Taylor. You have Tamira Poindexter and Khadija Laxa, Merjanado Musa, and Natasha Mack. So that's my Phoenix prediction for the Phoenix opening day roster. I know some people might say Helena Puello and probably Lexi Held, but I'm gonna go with that. Leave your comments in the comment section. We're gonna keep on pushing. So the team that had the second overall pick in the 2025 draft, the Seattle Storm, they can only fit 11 players on the roster. And as you can see, all 5 of their starting 5 I have projected are protected players. Skylar Diggins, no Smith anymore. Lexi Brown, Gabby Williams, Nneka Ogwumike, and Ezi Magbegor. The other players they have recently drafted Serena Sundell, 3rd round pick. Erica Wheeler, Zaya Cook, Madison Connor. I think she was a 3rd round pick as well. Jordan Hobbs, 3rd round pick. I think Madison Connor was 2nd round pick. Jordan Hobbs, 3rd round pick. Alicia Clark, Alicia Clark back in Seattle. Katie Lou back in Seattle. Brianna Fraser, Mackenzie Holmes, Dominique Malonga, their 2nd overall pick, and Lee Yeru, who they acquired in that trade for Kelsey Plum. I believe that was the trade. So they can fit 11. They currently have 5. Let's get to it. So I'm going to say Serena Sundell. Excuse me. Get some drink. Serena Sundell, the rookie, even though she was a 3rd round pick, I think she makes this roster. And I'm going to say Erica Wheeler also makes it. I know a lot of Fever fans weren't too fond of Erica's game, but I think she makes it. So that puts us at 7. Need 4 more. Of course, Dominique Malonga. I know they said she hasn't reported to camp yet. Probably just taking a break because she's been playing a lot of basketball. She was playing for Lyon over in France. Her team is eliminated from the postseason, but she's probably trying to get her affairs in order over there before moving across the world over to the Pacific Northwest. So Dominique Malonga, of course, she even has a potential to start, but I don't know who they would put on the bench. So Dominique Malonga, I think Malonga and Yeru probably make it. So that puts me at, I already have 4 added to the 5. That's 9. That's 2 more spots I need. Whew. Jeez, that went quick. They need shooting, so I'm going to say, oh, I forgot. Alicia Clark, definitely. Alicia Clark. What's up, Camille? I'm excited to see her and Ezzy work together. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting tandem for the future there. Nneka don't got too many years left. I'm not trying to rush her out, but Dominique and Ezzy in the front court, power forward center combination, that's a tough one. That is a tough one. And Dominique can score from all 3 levels. I don't know. I might have to start taking some people off. I don't know. Because if we look at it now, this is what I have so far. Serena Sundell, Erica Wheeler, Alicia Clark, Dominique Malonga, Lee Yeru. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and they only can fit 11 on the roster. Hmm. I don't know, people. I don't know. Let me make sure. Yeah, they only can fit 11. I have to check my notes here. Do they go Katie Lou? Do they go Zaya Cook at the backup shooting guard? Lexi Brown goes down every season with with her Crohn's disease. Um, so they definitely need backup shooters. Or do they go with the rookie Madison Connor? Or do they go Katie Lou in that position on the return? See, that's the predicament we find ourselves in here. Let me see what these contracts are looking like here for the Seattle Storm in terms of these other players. So Zaya Cook, oh, she's just getting the base, the base. Oh man, this is tough. This is tough. I'm gonna say I gotta make a decision. I'm gonna say Zaya Cook. Zaya Cook. I think Seattle thinks they can contend with the roster, so I think Zaya Cook. They're gonna go with somebody who's been in the league before. Zaya Cook, and that puts us at 11. So that means no Katie Lou, no Madison Connor or Jordan Hobbs. And that's tough. That's tough. But I think Sundell is the point guard of the future for Seattle, which is why they'll keep her. And she could play both the point and the two. She's a big guard. Serena Sundell. I think she's about 6'2", 6'2", 6'3". I was watching her in the tournament. She was posting up little guards, or smaller guards, I should say. So I'm excited. I was surprised she fell to the third round, but I'm excited to see what she can do in the W. So that marks my Seattle Storm roster. We got our starting five there. And then Sundell and Wheeler, Cook, Alicia Clark, Dominique Malonga, and Lee Yeru to close it out. If I did have to change anything, I would take Yeru out and probably add another guard and probably a Madison Connor or a Katie Lou. That's the only thing I would change, but I'm going to leave it as is for now. Let me know your thoughts. As always, let me know your thoughts. And last but not least, people, the team that probably gonna be the worst team in the league. Let me stop. The Washington Mystics. This team absolutely gashed. Um, they had a bunch of draft picks in this draft. Traded away some of their bigger contract players. Basically, they're in a rebuild. They got a new coach, new GM, new front office, basically. So they're basically starting from scratch. They could fit 12 players on the roster. Let's go through it. This is my projected starting five for the Washington Mystics. Jade Melbourne at the point, who they acquired last season. Brittany Sykes, who's been there. Sonia Citron, the rookie out of Notre Dame. Aaliyah Edwards out of UConn, their draft pick last year. And Shakira Austin. The other guarantee they have is Steph Dolson. She's at the center position. She's probably the oldest player on the team, making the most money on a guaranteed contract. The other players recently drafted: Georgia Amore out of Kentucky. Shook Sutton got acquired from the Phoenix Mercury last season. Lucy Olson out of Iowa. Zay Green, I forgot where Zay Green played ball. Does Zay Green play at Alabama, if I'm not mistaken? RC, what's good, bro? What up? What up? Good to see you, man. I know time difference and all that. I know people busy, but I wanted to start this at the same time the Heat played, so I didn't have to watch that game. Zay Green out of Alabama. Good. My memory's pretty good. JoJo Lacey out of Rutgers. Morgan Jones. Where Morgan Jones out of? Out of Louisville. And then you have Kiki Uriafen, who they also drafted this offseason, a couple weeks ago. Sika Kone, Ashton Pretchel, Emily Engsler, who started playing really good hoops towards the end of the season last year, and Khadijah Cave. So currently they have 6 players. They can fit 12, so they could sign another 6. In my honest opinion, let's get to it. Georgia Amore, I think makes this roster. You don't draft somebody that high and as a rebuilding team and then be like, all right, we're waiving you, because somebody will definitely pick her up. Georgia Amore makes this roster. I think Lucy Olson will make this roster as well. Yeah, bro. Don't even tell me the score. I haven't. I saw a notification, something that they scored 40 something points in the first quarter, and I said, "Good thing I am not watching that game." Um, Bunch of sorry dudes out there. Anyways, let's fast forward down to the power forward. Kiki Iriafen will make this roster. Kiki Iriafen. I think Emily Engsler makes it as well. Emily Engsler. This is my thinking as well. Jade's gonna start, but absolutely Georgia Amore coming for that. Definitely, definitely. If Jade, and they both Australian too. I forgot that. So this could be like some Australian. Y'all want to start on the Australian national team sort of competition too. Like, I'm better than you. So be on the lookout for that between Jade Melbourne and Georgia Amore. So this is what I have so far: Georgia Amore, Lucy Olson, Kiki Urifen, Emily Engsler, and of course Steph Dolson. Conlandi said, "Didn't Sonia Citron look a little like Kaylin?" Yeah, a little bit, a little bit, like a tiny bit like Kate, but she was all blinged out, had all the earrings, the rings. She from my neck of the woods, right up the road, about 10 minutes from me. Sonia Citron grew up, so I was hoping. I knew she wouldn't. Once we traded the pick, I knew we definitely weren't getting her, but there was a slim hope that I hope she would come to New York at 7. But once we traded the pick, and when she started really hooping, I knew she wasn't going past number 3. But yeah, so what I have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have 2 more spots here for 2 more players for this Washington Mystics team. Let me As I did, I forgot to signify who's the rookies when I moved them up here. So boom, Georgia Amore, Lucy Olson, and Kiki Irfan. Boom. All right, so we got 2 more spots here. Shakira Austin, as we know, always ends up getting hurt. Yeah, I think Zay Green is probably the on the outside looking in my opinion. RC said I fear one of the rookies won't make it. Yeah, I think Zay Green will probably be the last one. Lucy Olson she's on the bubble for me, but they really don't have anyone really else. Not as I'm looking at it. I might go Sika Kone. Sika Kone, she's been hooping overseas. She looks really good. So I'm gonna go Sika Kone, and then that puts me at one more person for one more spot. Morgan Jones, 6'1", JoJo Lacey, 6'1" out of Rutgers. I'm not familiar with none of their games. JoJo Lacey, I'm gonna have to go look this up on ESPN right quick. JoJo could walk right by me. I wouldn't know who JoJo was. Unless it's Casey and JoJo. If you know, you know. Okay, JoJo, let me look at your stats. Out of Douglasville, Pennsylvania. She played a bunch of Boston College and transferred to Rutgers for her, I guess, her grad year. Um, she averaged 10 points a game, 5 rebounds on 39% shooting from the field, 32% from 3, 64 from the foul line. I don't know if that's gonna get it done, JoJo. Sorry, I don't know if that gets it done. What am I looking for? Next person I'm looking for is who? Morgan Jones. Kim said AC. Who's AC? Let me look up Morgan Jones. Morgan Jones. That's such a generic name. It's probably mad people gonna pop up. Morgan Jones. Oh, they got some of her stats here. 6'2", 150 pounds out of Louisville. I need to see her stats. Man, don't even got her stats available. Doesn't look like she was a big 3-point shooter. Yeah, she didn't really take too many threes, Morgan Jones. So I don't know about that one. I don't know, y'all. It's just one more spot. I'm gonna just go with. I'm gonna go with Morgan Jones. She played at Louisville. Yeah, I wasn't familiar with her game. She played at Louisville. That's all I got for you, RC. Played at Louisville. I'm gonna go another guard. I'm gonna just go Suge Sutton because I could be here all day trying to and ah about this. I'm gonna go Suge Sutton, and then they'll find out who their guard of the future is. There is it Amore, is it Melbourne, or is it Sutton? Who will be the odd woman out? Boom. So that's our 12. 5 in the starting lineup. We got Amore and Sutton at the lead guard spots. Olsen at the 2. Iriafen, Engsler and Kone, and Dolson. And that rounds out the Mystics. Sheesh. All right. So we're just gonna quickly go over everything from beginning to end that we just to recap for everybody. Oh, you talking about Katie Lou? From the Seattle one. Okay, let's just review this right quick. So we start off with let's start from the beginning. So this is what I had for Atlanta. For those, just to recap for everybody, Atlanta only could fit 11. I had this as my starting 5. Canada: Alicia Gray, Ryan Howard, Brianna Jones, and BG. Their bench: Tahina Pow, Shatori Walker, Kimbrough, Maya Caldwell, Nia Coffey, Naz Hillman, and Maria Gakdang. I did all of them, bro. That was the last one. That was the last one, RC. This was team 2, Chicago Sky. This is what I had. They go Courtney Vandersloot as the starter, Ariel Atkins, Rebecca Allen, Angel Reese, and Camilla Cardoso. Their bench: Mo Jeff, Haley Van Lith, Rachel Banham, Kia Nurse, Onyenwere, Maddie Westbeld, and Elizabeth Williams. That was for the Chicago Sky. For Connecticut, I had Lindsay Allen, Marina Mabry, Diamond DeShields, Tina Charles, and ONO, Nelson Adota. Their bench: Yvonne Anderson, Layla Lacan, JC Sheldon, Sanaya Rivers, Anissa Morrow, Amy Okonkwo, and Camilla Barkowska. Moving on, we had the Dallas Wings. Starting 5, Paige Beckers, Arike Agumbawale, Dejanay Carrington, Maisha Hines Allen, and Tierra McCowan. Yeah, RC, I got Haley out of there. She got to go. She probably won't, but in my prediction, she out of here. Their bench: Ty Harris, Isaiah James, Maddie Segrist, Madison Scott, and Alyssa Smith, Louisa Geisel-Solder, and Aranette Von Lay. Moving on to the next team, we got Golden State Valkyries. We got Julie Van Loo starting, Tiffany Hayes, Kate Martin, Monique Billings, and Temi Benley. Their bench: Carla Late, Cheyenne Sellers, Kayla Thornton, Xander Lassini, and Salon, Steph Talbot, and Letitia Amahir. I know people are like, what about Caitlin Chen? Sorry, Kate. Sorry. Next, we got Indiana Fever. They only can have 11 on their opening day roster. Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, Natasha Howard, DeWanna Bonner, and Aaliyah Boston. Their bench: Sydney Colson, Sophie Cunningham, Lexi Hull, Bree Hall, Damaris Dantas, and Michaela Timpson. RC, you think so? You think Herbert Harrigan will make it over Scott? I don't know. I haven't seen enough from Herbert Harrigan. She on the same level as Scott to me. I haven't seen enough from Kiki Herbert Harrigan. Kim says, I hope many of these players get picked up by Toronto or Portland. They should. But then there'll be another crop of players coming in next year when Toronto and Portland join. So It's a never-ending cycle. Do you think the players who didn't make it this year will get picked up next year? But then you got another. Shoot, now that those two teams are added to the draft, now is it going to be 15 teams in the first 15 teams per round? So that's 45 players come getting drafted. Nah, this guy is crazy. Man, so Kayla Chetniko's look like mother and daughter. She gonna make the team just off looks. Nah, I was thinking about it. I was thinking that she would make it, but I'm like, who do I take? I'm gonna go back to Golden State right quick. Who do I take off? I think Carla Lake definitely making the team. She's nice. I don't know who to take off here. Do I take Xander Lassini or Salon? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know who I take off for Golden State to put Caitlin Shen in. That's my thing. I don't know. That's why I went with Cheyenne. Caitlin, she'll be all right. All right, let's continue. Let's go on to this one. Las Vegas Aces. We got starting five: Chelsea Gray, Jewel Lloyd, Jackie Young, Asia Wilson, Kia Stokes. Their bench: Harmony Turner, the rookie out of Harvard, Tiffany Mitchell, Dana Evans, Crystal Bradford, Kirsten Bell, Cheyenne Parker Tyus, and Liz Kitley. Malia Nye is on my bubble here. If anybody had to take off, it would be Crystal Bradford. RC Janelle Salon, she's a French player. Overseas, plays on the French national team, playing in Italy right now. Can score from all three levels. Really dope. You should take a look at some of her game. But Janelle Salon, she's dope. And she's young too. She's like 20 something. So that's mine for the Las Vegas Aces here. Remember, Cheyenne Parker Tice is going to miss the beginning of the season due to her pregnancy. So I'm not sure exactly what they're going to do in terms of her contract or how that actually works out with still having her, but being able to sign another player. I'm not too sure how that's going to work. But this is what I have. Let's keep it pushing. LA Sparks. I have Odyssey Sims, Kelsey Plum, Rakia Jackson, Dearica Hamby, and Azare Stevens. Their bench: Julie Alamon, who's out with she just had a procedure last week, so she'll be out the beginning of the season. Rookie Sarah Ashley Barker out of Alabama, Shanice Swain out of Australia, Ray Burrell, Sanaya Fagan, Cameron Brink, and Mercedes Russell. Remember, Cameron Brink will be out beginning of the season as well, still recovering from that ACL. Right? Let's keep it pushing. Minnesota Lynx, the runners up from last year, 12 people they can fit on the roster. Courtney Williams, McBride, Carlton, Collier, Alana Smith, probably the easiest starting five to predict because it's the same starting five. Their bench: Natisha Heidemann, Carly Samuelson, Diamond Miller, Alyssa Pili, Anastasia Kosu, Dorka Yuhas, and Mariam Badian out of France. The only one that I'm a little wary about is this Anastasia Kosu. Jessica Shepard might come in and steal that spot from her due to familiarity with the system already. But that's my prediction there for them. Then we get to the best team in the world, the New York Liberty. Starting five: Natasha Cloud, Sabrina Ionescu, Leonie Fibich, Brianna Stewart, and Jonquel Jones. Their bench: I have Maureen Johannes, Marquisha Davis, Rebecca Gardner, Kennedy Burke, Esmeri Martinez, Isabel Harrison, and Niara Sabali. Yes, but Nigel Laney Hamilton is it's possible she can come back this season, but I think the Liberty will basically urge her not to, or basically have her just recover all the way, have a full off season to get back into shape and to rest that knee because she's had a lot of knee issues. So I think they'll suspend her contract and fill it up with some remaining players. All right. Did I have Bree Hall making it? Let me see. I can't remember. Let me take a look here. No, that's Aces. Yeah, I had Bree Hall making it. Yeah, I did. I did have Bree Hall making it. I couldn't remember. Let's go to the Mercury. The Mercury, they can fit 12 people on their roster. Starting five for me. I know people are like Alyssa Thomas at the point. Listen, I think he's gonna play her anywhere. He could play her at the point. That's what he said. Coach Tibbetts, girl dad. Alyssa Thomas, Sammy Whitcomb, Kalia Copper, Satu Sabali, and Kalani Brown. Their bench: Sevgi Uzun, Shyla Heel out of Australia. Excuse me, Celeste Taylor, Tamira Poindexter out of K State, Katicha Laksa, Merchanado Musa out of Nigeria, and Natasha Mack. And let's keep it pushing. We got Seattle Storm, Skylar Diggins, no Smith. She's no Smith anymore. She said don't put the Smith on her name no more. Lexi Brown, Gabby Williams, Neka Gulmake, and Ezzy Magbagor. Their bench: Serena Sundell, Erica Wheeler, Zaya Cook, Alicia Clark, Dom Malonga, and Lee Yuru. Um, yeah, I don't know, between Zaya Cook and Madison Connor. I'm not too sure, or Katie Lou. I'm not too sure there, but I put Zaya Cook, so I'm gonna just rock with it. Zaya Cook. And last but not least, the last one we did, Washington Mystics with Jade Melbourne, Brittany Sykes, Sonia Citron, Aaliyah Edwards, Shakira Austin. Their bench: Georgia Amore, Shug Sutton, Lucy Olson, Kiki Urifen, Emily Angsler, Sika Kone, and Steph Dolson. And that's a wrap, people. That is a wrap on that. RC said you're gonna be called some preseason basketball games. I'm gonna try. Um, Next week I'm not even gonna be in the country, so I won't be able to do those next week. Between Monday, I leave Monday, so shoot, I might be able to do a Sun. I don't even know. I mean, let's take a look at it. Actually, I actually have it up right here. I'm over here trying to guess and stuff. So this is the preseason schedule, all free on League Pass. Uh, so we got it starts this Friday. So Aces Wings at 7. You have Brazil national team versus Sky at 9. Then you have on Saturday Mystics versus Fever. Sunday at 4 you have Brazil versus Fever. Sunday at 6 you have the Sun and the Storm. And then Tuesday you have the Lynx and the Sky. You have the Mercury and the Aces, the Sparks and the Golden State Valkyries. The Wednesday you have the Dream and the Mystics. Friday you have the Sun and the Liberty. Saturday you have the Fever and the Dream. And then you have the Sky and the Lynx. You also have the Antelopes and the Wings. I think the Antelopes are a Japanese team. And then you have the Valkyries and the Mercury on Sunday, May 11th. And the Liberty and the Antelopes close it out on Monday, May 12th. So a lot of those games, I don't know what game I'll be able to call really. I'm busy all these times until probably next week, next like Friday, Saturday. RC says, good thing you got Serena Sundell making it. Jay, I was gonna scream had you cut her out. Jeez, why is this comment so big? Thought I fixed that. Yeah, Sundell is the point guard of the future for the Seattle Storm, so they definitely got to keep her. That yeah, that weird team, yeah, Japanese team, the Antelopes. Um, they're Antelopes versus Liberty. I want to make sure before I miss. Yeah, the Toyota Antelopes. That's the name of the team. The Toyota Antelopes. So that's the preseason roster. That is the preseason, not roster, preseason game schedule. All these games are free on League Pass, as you can see here at the top right of your screen. Free League Pass preview in the app, May 2nd to the 12th. So you'll be able to watch all these games. I'm not sure about the ESPN. I don't think the ESPN game on against the Brazilian national team you'll be able to watch on League Pass here in the US, but every other game you should be able to watch on League Pass. Wow. All right, so we went through all 13 teams, people. Went through all 13 teams. We predicted the roster for them all. And like I mentioned, like we did last year, after the final rosters are completed, I think the last day they can complete them is May 15th. We'll have a stream going over my selections here, and we'll see how much I got right and how much I got wrong. I also will be releasing a WNBA League Pass video in the coming days. I know when I'm going through Reddit and social media, a lot of people are still confused about what League Pass actually offers and how to find out what it offers. So I did one for 2024, how to watch the WNBA. I'm gonna do one for 2025. So be on the lookout for that. Should be by the end of the week. Maddox asks, geez, all my comment bars are like way off. Jay, do you think the Liberty will be fine without Lainey Hamilton? I think so. I think the Liberty will be fine without her. Last year, I would have said probably not in the playoffs because we didn't really have that back up to her. But I should say we weren't sold on the backup to her, but Leonie Feebit stepped in and did what she had to do. Now we have Rebecca Gardner, who's a really defensive pest as well, can apply sort of the same things, not as strong or muscular as a Lainey Hamilton, but she can provide some of the same downhill ability, can hit a three when you need her to, can play the defense on one of your best guards if you need her to as well. So we have that replacement there. Another year of Marquisha Davis. She played really well overseas in China. So if she can apply her defensive prowess here and then just add on to the offensive game, we'll be solid. Also with Isabel Harrison as the backup to Brianna Stewart. Stewie shouldn't have to play too many minutes. Niara Sabli getting more minutes as well. Natasha Cloud also being a dog on defense. So we should be good. RC, appreciate you, bro. Thanks for stopping by as always. Appreciate that. Maddox says, Jay, I think Lainey Hamilton will be back by August or September. At that point, she would be out of playing a WNBA game or live basketball for a long time. So I don't think to throw her in now, try to ramp her back up for the playoffs, the most intense time of the year, is ideal. And I think the Liberty will have found a rhythm by then. So I think they'll have her just sit out the whole season pretty much, and make sure she gets her body really healthy, because she can't deal with another, like last postseason, they were just injecting the knee so she could play games. So she wasn't even really she was like probably loopy playing games for us. She had that one breakout game where she went crazy for us in the postseason. But the rest of the games, we knew she wasn't herself. She was just fighting through pain, or fighting through the whatever they injected her with to get her to play. So I think they'll let her rest the whole season, get her body fully right. Remember, everybody's going to be a free agent in 2026. So you don't want to be the person going into free agency battered and bruised, people still worried about if you're still injured. So I think they'll rest her the whole season and let the others take up the slack. All right, so we've been streaming for a little over 2 hours. It's been 2 hours 15 minutes. Thanks for everybody who was hanging around, who stopped by, gave your thoughts, asked some questions, made it interactive. Appreciate you. Maddox says Liberty Fever in the finals. So that'll be interesting. Liberty Fever. I know Fever have high expectations this year. But with the season being longer, there's no mid-season break, like it was last year for the Olympics. So it's gonna be a war of attrition. Who can stay the healthiest? Who can gel the quickest? And who can withstand the rigors of a WNBA season now with 44 games and even longer playoffs, because they changed the format of the playoffs as well. Maddox said, will they re-sign Lainey Hamilton next year if they win the championship this year? I mean, everything is up in the air. Everybody's going to be a free agent. Another team might throw the bag at Lainey Hamilton. So it's hard to predict what's going to happen a year from now, because literally, if you're not a rookie, or you haven't been signed in the last 2 to 3 years, if you haven't been drafted in the last 2 to 3 years, excuse me, you're gonna be a free agent. So it's gonna be literally a free for all. So it's hard to predict what teams will be looking for in 20 going into the 2026 season. So anything and everything is possible at that point. All right, guys, I'm going to head on out. I've been sitting here staring at the screen for a couple hours. I appreciate you guys all tuning in. I will, like I said, I will release how to watch the WNBA in 2025 video sometime this week. Make sure you also follow the highlights channel, Her Hoops Highlights. I'll probably be way behind on preseason stuff, because I won't be around to edit it, but I will be getting up throughout the WNBA season player highlights from all of the games, making sure that the players who have the best games or have pretty good games get the coverage that they need so you can go back and watch their highlights. So Her Hoop Highlights on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe there. Subscribe here if you're new here as well. Make sure those noti bells are on so you get notified the next time I go live. And I'll catch y'all in the next one. Con Lanning said, in the past, you wouldn't see WNBA teams traveling coast to coast for preseason games. It's easy to do when you got charter flights. Yeah, definitely that really really helps things out tremendously, the charter flights, because you don't have to wait on the commercial schedule to take off and go where you need to go. All right, y'all, enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm gonna go try and catch this other NBA game. Hopefully my team finished getting beat up already and they got swept out of here. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Salute.